Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain a movie called Joker, which was released in 2019. So, let's get to it. Hope you guys will enjoy it. In such a city, the film Joker begins. Where the poor and upper classes coexist, the poor are not accepted by the wealthy. They have a high quality of living and look down on the poor. The protagonist of this film is the character Arthur, who lives in this city. He formerly resided with his mother. He was a big fan of comedy. He also aspired to be a great comic one day. His ideal presenter was someone who had already hosted a popular comedy program. He wished he could be on the show with that host one day. He used to put in a lot of effort to get it. Then Arthur appears. Someone is carrying a signboard and standing on the road for a company's advertisement. There are a few mischievous boys there. After taunting him and stealing his signboard, they depart. Arthur has a clownish appearance. He chases after those kids in order to reclaim his signboard. Those kids, on the other hand, make him run and smack him in the face with the signboard. As a result, the signboard is broken, and Arthur is beaten excessively. Disappointed, he goes straight to his employer. He reveals the entire narrative of what the kids have done to him. His boss, on the other hand, scolds him excessively harshly. "Are you in your senses?" he asks. What are the children's reactions to this? He adds, "I will not pay your wages either." Because Arthur lacks confidence, he is unable to talk in his favor here. He emerges from his room, depressed. Is it possible that I'm too bad that no one believes me? When he gets to his place, he starts dancing. He is physically weak, as may be seen here. The next day, Arthur tells his coworker about those children. His coworker tells him, "It went wrong, and you should have taken care of yourself." He says this while handing him a gun. "Keep it on your person at all times. This will assist you in your time of need." Arthur refuses to take it, but the man forces him to hand it over. Then Arthur heads back to his home. He's on a bus, and there's a child seated in front of him. He makes an attempt to make him laugh. The boy then bursts out laughing. His mother is furious about it. "Arthur," she says, "go. Please don't bother us." However, Arthur begins to laugh at it. In fact, it is stated that Arthur has a mental illness of some sort. He can't stop himself from laughing and starts laughing everywhere. He offers that lady a card with his condition information inscribed on it while sitting in a bus. When he gets home, he starts taking his prescription. Actually, he couldn't get this prescription because he didn't have enough money. As a result, he used to get his medication from the government's pharmacy. When he goes to see his psychiatrist, she tells him, "Please show me your journal. What have you been working on lately?" She discovers a written statement in his diary when she opens it. "I don't want to die in the manner in which I have spent my life." When Arthur returns home, his mother inquires, "Have you received any letters from Thomas?" Arthur reacts with a resounding no. Even now, this is not the case. Thomas has been depicted as a wealthy businessman. And he has a lot of people terrified of him. His mother tells him, "After learning about our situation, he will undoubtedly support us." On his way back to his residence the next day, he runs into a single mother and her daughter. Arthur starts to like him a lot. He does, however, return to his home. Here, his mother inquires about the same letter. Arthur says, "He won't back us up, and what's your connection to him?" The next day, a single girl shows up to Arthur's place. She tells him, "I've noticed you chasing me for quite some time." "Yes," says Arthur. "I enjoyed your company." That female starts laughing at it. They quickly form a friendship bond with one another. Arthur is offered a position as a comedian by a platform once more. It's a hospital for children. Going there when Arthur is dancing, then he pulls the revolver from his pocket. All of the children are terrified, and the entire faculty is taken aback. What motivates him to preserve this weapon? As word spreads, he is also sacked from his job. He phones his boss and tells him, "It's just a toy gun." His boss tells him, "Don't lie. Everything has been revealed to me by your coworker. That you were the one who snatched the pistol from him." Arthur is dismayed once more, believing that his coworker had forced him to take the gun. Then it's seen that Arthur is taking the train back to his house. 3 business people are also present. Who were the Thomas men? They are harassing a female passenger on the train. Because of his mental illness, Arthur begins to laugh. And those 3 gentlemen are thinking while he laughs at them. They've been slapping him too hard, and his mouth is starting to bleed. Arthur was attempting to inform them of his problem, but 3 of them were completely ignoring him. Arthur murders 3 of them with his gun because he is violent. He runs, believing he has killed 3 people. He shuts himself away in a bathroom. He was apprehensive at first. But he starts dancing here. It appeared as if he had no regrets. He, too, was at ease. As he approaches his home, the news is being carried on television. There is a conversation going on between Thomas and himself. He claims that 3 persons were assassinated. They were my men, and a clown slaughtered them. Instead of feeling sorry for these 3 murders, the impoverished folks here embrace the idiot. Because they are dressed up as clowns to protest against the wealthy. From there, Arthur goes to see his psychiatrist. "We're meeting for the last time today," she says. "Because the government has ceased to fund us. And I'm afraid I won't be able to help you for free." Arthur feels dejected once more. He emerges from the cave, mournful. Then there's Arthur, who is making people laugh in a comedy show. He can't seem to get them to chuckle. He starts laughing loudly out of anxiety. As a result, his show is interrupted, and he returns home. As he enters the house, his mother exclaims, "My boy." Post his letter addressed to Thomas. When Arthur reads it, he is skeptical. Going to his mother, he exclaims, "Why did you keep it a secret from me? My son." His mother exclaims, "I didn't do that on purpose. Even though we both intended to marry, Thomas and I had feelings for each other. However, I came from a humble background, although he was aristocratic. As a result, we did not marry due to cultural expectations." Arthur is on his way to see his father. As soon as he arrives, behind the back of the gate, Thomas's own kid is waiting. Arthur begins to act childishly in front of him. He also makes an attempt to make him laugh. In the meantime, Thomas's domestic worker arrives. He tells the boy, "It's not nice to talk to strangers." He also tells Arthur to go. "I'll leave after revealing the truth," says Arthur. "My mom worked at Thomas' house for 30 years. They used to get along well. And I am not another person's son, but Thomas. You and your mother are both insane," says the domestic helper. This is a narrative he made up. He is unconcerned about Thomas. When Arthur hears it, he becomes ill and flees. When he arrives at his residence, he discovers that his mother has had a health crisis. She has been admitted to the hospital. While he is seated outside, 2 police officers arrive. They ask him whether he knows anything about the 3 people who were killed in the train. "No," says Arthur. "I have no way of knowing." He is aware that her mother was asked the same question by a police officer. It put his mother's health in jeopardy. He goes inside to see his mother, who is also a single mother. Then the news is shown on TV, with the same Arthur's favorite TV host as before. He aspired to be like that comic. He gets into his show and begins to enjoy it. His own face appears on the television at first glance. Arthur's ideal comedian, in fact, is mocking him. In a comedy show, Arthur was unable to suppress his laughter. As a result, Arthur is deeply hurt, believing that my ideal is mocking me. He had instilled in me the desire to succeed. He does not believe it. When Thomas enters the house, the news is being presented on the television. The situation in the city has deteriorated. Poor Strata has arrived on the scene dressed as a clown. They are also protesting against the aristocracy. There is a lot of animosity between them now. And they're all against Thomas. Arthur is ecstatic, and he knows it. Everyone had dressed up like a clown. For the first time, he believes his work has been praised. The impoverished Strata's revolution was now taking place in a theater. In one cinema, the aristocracy was watching a movie. Also present was Thomas. Police arrived to put an end to the disturbance by issuing a prohibition. There's a lot of commotion going on. Arthur takes advantage of this by moving inside the theater. He proceeds to the theater's restroom, where Thomas had also arrived. "Arthur," he says gently as he approaches him, "I am your son. Remember? You and my mother used to travel together." Thomas tells him, "I'm not aware of any lady by this name." And he punches him hard. As a result, he starts to bleed from his nose. Arthur goes back to his home. After some time has passed, he receives a call from a police officer. They actually intended to question Arthur. That fateful day when those 3 men were killed. Arthur also learns that his favorite comic has invited him to appear on his show. Actually, he had played a routine comic clip of Arthur in his presentation. His show's popularity had risen as a result of this. Because it was well liked. He's quite enthusiastic. And he prepares to travel there. However, he believes Thomas' domestic helper told him that my mother is mad. As a result, he pays a visit to the psychiatric facility where her mother was treated. He requests his mother's medical records from them. After stealing the file record, he flees. Arthur's mother was in a relationship with another person, according to a written statement. He used to physically torment her. Arthur had also had a brain injury at the time. As a result, he is currently afflicted with this illness. From there, he goes straight to his friend's single mother. It is shown that she does not exist in this scene. She was only a figment of his imagination. He used to see her in his mind's eye. Because of his mother's injuries, Arthur is very concerned. He chokes his mother to death with a pillow while on his way to the hospital. When he arrives at the residence, he discovers a photograph with a written statement on the back that reads, "I enjoy the way you smile." Thomas was the one who said it. And this was his mother's photograph. He learns at this point that his mother was not lying. He starts putting on his clown makeup. He is oblivious to what is going on around him because he is depressed. Then his former coworker shows up. "I'd like to question you about your mother's recent murder and the murders of 3 people in a train," he says. Arthur believes that they have returned to wreak havoc on their lives. And it is here that he brutally murders his coworker. Following that, Arthur gets ready and dons the clown outfits. He was getting ready to attend his favorite comedian's show. He's giddy with anticipation. And he's off, dancing along the way. Both police officers arrive at the same time. Who was in charge of detecting the railway accident? Arthur, on the other hand, flees. While sprinting, he boards a train. There were also a lot of folks dressed up as clowns. Police are unable to search him due to the large number of people present. He emerges from his hiding place when the opportunity arises. He also attends the show of his favorite comic. He inquires as he walks in front of him, "Are you also dressed as a clown? Are you revolting against the aristocracy as well?" Arthur has made a request of him. "Except for this fact, don't expose me to the public. That I'm just a regular clown." Then they begin their live broadcast. Those who are watching him get enthralled. It is well received by them. Arthur's favorite comic asks him a question there, and he responds by saying, "Why are you putting on the clown makeup here?" "I've always wanted to be happy," says the clown. "I also wanted to share the happiness with others. People liked me in this outfit, so I chose to wear it." He also says something shocking here. In this live broadcast, he tells everyone that, "I was the one who killed the people in the train." He claims that he disclosed it to you since many poor people had died up to this point. The impoverished were brutally murdered by a large number of upper-class people. Has anyone been paying attention? Has anyone spoken out against the top crust? Alternatively, let me know if the victims were overlooked. Why are people yelling at me if I haven't killed any wealthy people? Isn't there any equality for all of humanity? Is there a specialization among the wealthy? He claims that civilization has become tainted. Its residents are completely absorbed in themselves. If you've invited me to this show, it's not because you're sympathetic. You did it because my appearance on your show was enhancing the popularity of your show. But, according to Arthur's favorite comedian, it isn't at all. Arthur becomes enraged and exclaims, "Are you still lying?" He pulls out his revolver and discharges it at him in front of everyone. People become terrified and begin to flee outside. However, Arthur appears to be confident in this scene. He is unafraid of everyone. On this crime, the clown Arthur is apprehended by the cops. And the cops start driving him about, getting him into the car. However, Arthur notices that he has a lot of help along the road. They are on his side. Several of them board the ambulance. And they collide with the police cruiser while speeding. So the cop car has crashed, and the clown has just sprung from the automobile. He is standing on the same vehicle as those folks, unifying them. Everyone was staring at him and adoringly admiring him. His nose and mouth were already bleeding profusely. But, spreading his palm, he makes a smiling curve with the blood and begins to chuckle. It was, in fact, a smile that hid agony and grief. He had now become everyone's ideal. He was content with it. In the end, people were complimenting him. Thomas, on the other hand, appears on the scene. Who is leaving with his current wife and son from this city? However, a clown standing nearby murders them with his rifle. He does not, however, harm their son. Then the setting shifts, and Arthur meets with a psychiatrist. He's also giggling over there. That psychiatrist tells him, "Why do you keep laughing for no apparent reason?" "Arthur," she says, "you'll never comprehend what I'm talking about." He walks outside after saying it. His shoes' outsoles were soaked in blood. It explains how a devout man became a murderer. The moral of the story is as follows: if a victim is treated badly, he becomes a victimizer. He was in such agony and misery that he became apathetic. He was now sincerely satisfied with his existence. This sequence also serves as the conclusion of the film. So, guys, how do you like this video today? Please subscribe and share. If you want to see more videos like that, let me know which one you want to hear in the next video by telling me in the comments section.